and welcome to another episode with the Autistic Angler. Today I'm doing something a bit different for me. So recently I've seen a lot of people using this new Trident Tackle stuff, so I bought some and I thought I'd have a look at it. So that's the package. Nicely packaged. The thing that I've noticed with other people when they've been using it, I've been getting a bit confused about how it works, some of it. So I thought, well, for the price, I'd buy my own stuff and have a look. I was going to pop out this evening, so I thought I'd tie a rig and see how it goes on. So there you go. So I bought one of each of the three products that they've just started, and there they are in their bags. Now they have got their names. Oh, I can't remember, let's see. Oh, here we go. And there's your prices as well. I think this thing is the Roto Clip. And then we've got a bait clip and a Termalink. Well, I think the bait clip is the thing that is meant to compete with the Gemini one. Let's take these out and put them both in the same box. Same bag. Okay. So what have we got? Those will be the pulleys. So they're the aero pulleys. These are the ones that I've seen that you've got to go through here and back here. I'll show you that when I do it now. Oh, that just clips on here. I wasn't sure if that moved, but no, that's just a clip. They seem quite heavy duty plastic. And the thing that I was talking to one of the chaps on Facebook about the other day was the aerodynamic side of these things. And I saw somebody else that did a review of them talking about the aerodynamic side of, I think it was these, saying that the knot tucks in quite nicely. Anyway, so that's the first thing then on these pulleys. See, I'm confused straight away. No, that's right. So that goes up onto this end with the metal, goes up onto the, does it? Yeah, that end goes up onto the main line. Then you come through in a sort of figure of eight down. That's it. So that's down and that's up. So that weighs up and that weighs down on this one. And then obviously, with this being the clip at the bottom, that's the bait. No, that's just the Termalink, isn't it? That's a link, a quick link. And you can see there your lines, it's got an indentation, so your line will just disappear in there. And now these are the things. They look wow confusing to my little brain. Okay, well this rotates, so it's similar to the splashdown clip. So you go in there, and the imps. It does resemble an imp a bit, doesn't it? But neither of these are open. So both of these are closed. So you'd have to have some sort of clip that clips onto there or to tie onto here and then you'd have to have, yeah, it looks like you'd have to have a clip to clip your weight on. Now, these are the things that I wasn't too sure about. So when you're actually setting your rig up, let's say, just for instance, if I was doing a pulley or a pulley pedal, I'd have one of these, let's get the blooming names right, an aero pulley at the top, like that. Then I'm going to end up with either, and now it depends on, yes, of course, it would depend on the, if I do a breakaway lead, then I don't need the paddle that the imp's got, similarly like I don't need the imps if I'm using a breakaway lead. So in that case, if I've got a breakaway lead, then all I need is those two. And then if I didn't have a breakaway lead, I'd have to have the Roto. Now, what I was thinking, if I use the breakaway lead, you could use an extra, what's the terminology again? You could use a Termalink, another one, down here, because that actually is a clippable link. Because what I've started doing is started using replaceable snoods. So on a pulley, to have a replaceable snood here, I'd have to have some form of link up here. Now that would work because ordinarily you'd just have a swivel here where you'd come down from your top rig bead, pulley bead. So that would replace a swivel. So that's as chunky as a swivel, probably a little bit more chunky, but it does mean I could have a swivel attachment there to my hook down here. But then I do like a hook. I do like a swivel down here at the weight. But thinking of, yeah, then I'd have a swivel up here, because I do like having a swivel on this line, because if the weight twists an awful lot on the retrieve, you can get your main line twisted up, or your snood twisted around the main line. But that would clip onto there. Then you've got to tie your thing on. You haven't got an option with that one of having a swivel down there. Now what about this other thing? No, you haven't with this either, have you? So both of these don't give you the option of having a swivel down at your bottom end by your weight. You could put a swivel there, but then you wouldn't be able to attach a swivel there, so that's an extra link. What I've been trying to do is keep down to a minimum the amount of things that I'm using. So it looks like if I want to use these, probably the best way to have it streamlined and have as few components as possible, throw those away, do a pulley with a swivel over here down to the hook, and then just rely on this swivel up here on the main line to stop the whole thing twisting. So okay, yeah, somebody else has mentioned, look, there's a little bit of swarf where they unclip from this carriage assembly, but that's nothing. But I do like the attention to detail on these. They do look like they're going to be quite good to tie onto. Right, so there's my first impressions. I'll get some stuff ready and then we'll make a rig up. So I've tied this rig up, and I went for a pulley rig, like I said. Right, you can see there that it's really quite streamlined. And I saw on Facebook somebody did a test of showing after 24 hours how narrow this was still there. And this is the one down at the right. This is the one down at the right. That line sits right inside the shoulders are there, and the knot is tucked in quite nicely. And I've also used one of those where the snood comes on. So I've done these like I discussed, so I can replace the snoods, because I find if I have a problem, it's only the hooks normally that break off, and then I can quite easily just change the snood and put a bigger size hook on, or the same again. And there isn't that much extra, because they're so streamlined and so light, these little links. I think that will work fine there. So with this Roto Clip, as they call them, if you push the top bit down, it releases the bottom bit and enabling you to clip on the weight. Like so. And you think, yeah, okay, that's fine. So I've got my weight clipped on there. Now, yeah, I appreciate this weight's not the best, but even with this weight, the water will come up here and unclip the hook. So that's absolutely fine. So I went ahead, and there you go, just put it and unclip it. So I went ahead and started tying myself a rig. And yes, I've still got the tagline here, but here is the main line tied onto the top part of the clip. And there's the paddle still working, so it's got to be here. So now I'm going to put my weight on. So I'm going to push my... Oh, look, I can't push it down. So you cannot use these without putting a clip at the bottom of your main line. So not only can you not use it without putting a swivel there, you need some sort of clip, because you can't change the weight. Now if you've put the weight on first, then you tie it on, you think, right, fine, problem solved. But even then, you chuck it out, find you need a heavier weight, and you can't change the weight. So the only thing you can do is either use, well, it's going to be some form of clip, so you can actually release it to release the weight. Now that's something that I think the Imp is better than this with, is that the way it's designed, you can clip and unclip very easily. Whereas this, because it uses the whole pushing through the device method, you can't. And while I'm about it, because these are obviously a comparative product, there's a lot more plastic on the Roto Clip than there is on the Imp. The Imp paddle moves a lot freer. Is this just because it's new plastic? It might be, so we'll give them that one. But if, like me, you're trying to use as few components as possible, cutting down on the weight, i.e. then giving yourself extra distance, I think I might have discovered that that's a bit of a problem. Because to use this and be able to change your weight, it appears that you've got to utilise a clip as well. While therein, you can then put a swivel on your clip as well. But it means you've got to always have a clip at the end of your main line and not straight onto the clip. Now, if I got that wrong, I really apologise, and it's just me. But I've got my son to look at it, and we can't find a way, once I've tied it on, of putting the weight on. It won't pull through. Now, that wasn't made clear anywhere. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. But the other two products, just to reiterate, I think are absolutely brilliant. But this one, well, I will make myself up a rig with a clip on the end, and we'll use it and give it a fair trial out tonight.